When you think of work efficiency, you have to know the difference between hard work and smart work. Or some people saying that there's a difference between working hard or being smart about it. The whole idea here is to be strategic with what we do. So welcome to my podcast tonight. My name is Alain Faber and I've been teaching for 25 years, and I bring along some topics about learning, teaching, and leadership once a week on Wednesday at 7:30. So first of all, we're going to see if we have the sound for you. We have the sound, so we will continue. So tonight, in the last couple of days, I've been planning my schoolwork. So I start my next school year next week, and I was putting together my learning management software on which I'm putting all the information for my class. And as I was putting that together, I was thinking that I need to mainstream the information so that it's easier for me to organize my lessons. It's easier for the students to figure out where things are, and ultimately we can work through the semester as efficiently as possible. So let's see if we can look into three perspectives tonight. The first perspective is the learner's perspective, second, teacher's perspective, and the third is leadership's perspective. Tonight may be a little bit shorter since it is on a Wednesday, and I worked all day, and I have some plans for tomorrow. So let's see what are the three key topics here. So with the student's perspective, we have to figure out that we need to find a way to maximize productivity during study sessions. So there's something that will help this year, and it's the fact that we have cell phone bans in the classroom in Ontario this year. Now you have to keep in mind that in my class for the last few years, I tell students that we don't have homework because we are focusing in class and we're doing all the work together, collaborating, so that by the end of the lesson, by the end of a class, there's no reason why they would need to work in evening unless they want to review something or want to do something on their own. But I did not assign homework for the last couple of years. So let's see how this idea of no cell phone will help. Well, keeping in mind that some people say, well, if the students don't have any cell phones, what will they do? Well, they're going to pay attention in class. They will collaborate more. Lessons should be more interesting. And ultimately, what you'll be able to do is to build the social skills and the social makeup of the classroom. Because when you take care of the humans in your classroom, that's how the culture improves. So that will be something that I think will be amazing. My second point here about the teacher's perspective, keep in mind that for the teacher's perspective and working efficiently, we have to keep in mind that we need to streamline administrative tasks and lesson prep. So here I decided to change the way I organize my lessons this year. In the past, I had a Google Doc where I would just put all the information and I would review it and redo it every year. This year, I decided to put it on a spreadsheet, and therefore it will be easy and faster for me to get the curriculum link, the key points, the key things I need to do, so that it will be easy for me to refer to, easy for me to prepare, and easy for me to set up my lesson as we go along. I'm going to be teaching 3 grade 9 science class this semester, a class I've done for many years. So I'm going to see if I can find a way to mainstream a little bit more so that I can have more free time. So the whole idea here is to put in place the processes to make it easier, make in place routines for myself and my students to make sure things work out. And I was thinking about cell phones before. Usually in my workday, when I go to school, usually in the parking lot, I look at my phone, answer any text or memo I have to answer. And usually I look at my phone at the end of the day at about 3:30 in the afternoon. And everybody knows in my family and friends that I don't check my phone often. I don't have any notification. And so I model the best way for my students. So if you focus in class, if you focus on what needs to happen, then you can build the social integrity of your classroom, and then you can have free time and you can do what you need to do in the evening. So I think that's very important. Now, with respect to work efficiency and for the leader's perspective, I have here, you need to optimize personal and team productivity in a dynamic environment. So the whole idea here is when you are to get together and the collaboration needs to happen, the whole idea of reading PowerPoint, reading documents may not be the best thing, because you need to nurture the human interaction so that people feel that they belong, and therefore it's the best way to build a culture in a school. I was looking at the several emails this today, and I realized that in the last 20 years, there's more and more documentations on all the steps related to the school, with respect to curriculum, with respect to all the different aspects we have to do. And something that is interesting is that the more and more people document, so people know what needs to refer to. But today, when I looked at all the different documents I needed to do, it was about 350 pages. And that was just today for about 5 emails. And the whole idea here is that as we go along, more and more people prepare documentation, so people need to know what needs to happen, what are the processes, and so on. The difficulties, though, is that if you end up with processes that change, that's not very good. Or if there's a lot of them, what happens is that you are putting a lot of processes on few people. So what happened is people have to read a lot in order to get things going. So that's something to look into, because sometimes I've noticed that people say, well, there's a document, you could have read it or you should have read it. However, keeping in mind that if you have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pages to read, you have hours and hours of training videos. At some point, your brain doesn't absorb it as well as it could be. So that's something to look into, and the best way to organize that is good. It's interesting. Some people say, well, they say AI could be a way to do so. The big question, though, is that we need to make sure that the large language models are able to get the correct information, so that there's nothing that is left that is important. So that's something to keep in mind. So I do try to read all the documentations, but when processes need to happen, it is the more documents there are, the easier it is. In which case, if there's a lot of processes, then maybe it's better to delegate specific processes for specific people. So you, strategically speaking, there's less stress, like less big stress to know everything on a few people, on all people, and then people can focus and specialize on specific ideas. I don't know if it makes sense, but that's my thoughts for today. On this, it's going to be a short show today. Hopefully you will be able to, if you have any questions related to work efficiency, any comments, please put them in the comments below. I'm sure I'm going to put more information about work efficiency, because I've been reading all kind of books and documents this summer, and I'm going to bring some ideas as we are going along in this podcast. On this, have an amazing day, and I will see you next Wednesday at 7:30. On this, take care and bye.